Howdy boys and girls, this is Pixel1 coming back at you for another deep dive into gaming realism, where we are saying, hey, realistic content is cool and all, but what about player behaviors? Players regularly ignore key elements of the subject matter, then what the heck is being simulated? In part 2, we're going to dig into weapon handling and momentum. Sound good? Now, to kick this off, I've got some in-game footage here of a 90-degree turn and a 180-degree turn while aiming down the sights of a shotgun that clocks in at a little under 10 pounds. This repeats 3 times. See if you can spot the issues. You ready? Woo! That was quick. Did you see it? No? Okay, let's try again. I'll give you some more hints. Here goes. Now, I'm no tip of the spear, but how in the world is the player able to swing around a decent old hunk of metal at the speed of thought? Especially when it's shouldered and fully extended to the target. At first blush, this may not seem like that big of a deal. After all, a lot of games get this wrong. But many of those games don't claim to be realistic battle simulators either. In real life, weapon mobility, its weight and balance, plays a huge role in any sort of CQB situation or in any environment where the shooter has to quickly transition between widely spaced targets. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at a pistol grip shotgun, something I consider to be on the more cumbersome end of the spectrum. Then we're going to look at a pistol, something tight and snappy. And then we're going to compare them against each other so you can see firsthand how this dynamic might play out in EFT. And just a note, short stocking is also a very common and useful practice for tight spaces and greatly helps maneuverability, but I don't show it here. Let's take a look. Now, I can already hear some people saying, okay, you may have a point, but that's just going too far. And to that I say, going too far? In which direction? I mean, here, don't take my word for it. Let's try this. Let's have some fun. Let's end with a series of clips at normal, real-life speeds. And then we'll reimagine them in an Escape from Tarkov type setting. And you tell me, which one is going too far? Sound fair? Roll the tape.
Put that gun down! Put that gun down!
But this is the first movement, there. Then you release at the bottom.
Here, 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 here.
Now, you want to hear something crazy? Believe it or not, the only real-life footage I could find that could keep up with Escape from Tarkov was none other than the dramatic squirrel. That gets me every time. Now, we know already that BSG is looking into Inertia for character movement, so when it comes to weapon momentum, maybe EFT can likewise come up with something even better. Something that goes hand in hand with its ballistics and, as we've seen here, adds even more variety and character to the weapons in its arsenal. And that's not to say it has to be at the same pace I've shown here. There could be some happy medium that's drawn. But I think to keep it as quick and tight and fast as it is now is doing the simulator name and even the realism name a mighty disservice. Because surely we can do better than this. Right? Right? Oh God, make it stop! Now, for some technical notes. It wouldn't be me without them, right? You'll see that often the in-game character can fully square up to a threat before I can even finish turning my head in real life. This, combined with the fact that FPS games are not able to reliably rate limit the mouse input speeds of its players, seems to indicate that the role of the mouse is best interpreted as the player's head and eyes, and allow the game to, quote, fill in the gaps on how the body would appropriately respond and follow suit. In this way, perhaps the player's body's turn speed can be plausibly rate limited instead. Also, if you're one of those types that likes to do your own research, take the target competition pros with a grain of salt. Now, they're definitely good, I won't knock them there, but realize that there's a whole realm of prep and planning that typically goes on before they execute a run. They get to walk the circuit, they get to visualize their positions, sometimes even get to go through a few dry runs just to go through the motions. And on top of that, at the end of the day, it's a sport. It's for show and for entertainment and for good old competitive bragging rights, which is a very far cry for being in a blind simulations course where the targets don't stand still. They actively shoot back at you. Oh, and it's loud as put a bunch of those range darlings in that type of hot seat, and you'll likely see a very different methodology and pacing. At least among the handful that can make it out alive, eh? Fighting and prevailing with a weapon, understand that's a different animal altogether that rarely comes with a sponsorship deal. Alright, boys and girls, that about does it for this one. Thanks again for watching. We'll be hanging out here in the official EFT forums, beta testing, general discussions, questions and suggestions, deep dive into gaming realism part 2. Hope to see you there. Adios.